Hello everyone and welcome to the ICARUS New Frontiers Getting Started Guide. I'm Fortizar and I'm going to be showing you just a little bit of what you can expect in New Frontiers from animals, the building materials and the environments you're going to be doing missions in now. The first thing you'll notice is there's a third new currency now. This red exotic here is available only in New Frontiers. I will cover this in a later video all about exotics. From the home screen now, if you click New, it'll bring up the open world, missions and outposts. We'll start off with the outposts first. You cannot get any form of exotics on outposts at all. So that's including the new red exotics and the old purple exotics. Along with you can't do any missions or dynamic missions at all on outposts. Outposts is purely just for building on and getting creative. And next is missions. Missions, you can get red exotics only on New Frontiers though, and exotics. So you can get regular purple exotics both on New Frontiers, Styx and Olympus. You can do missions. Next up is open world mode. You cannot get any red exotics on open world mode on New Frontier, along with no exotics. You can do operations, which is just a new name for missions in New Frontiers. And you can do dynamic missions as well. Before jumping into your open world or your first mission in New Frontiers, I highly recommend you go and checking out the workshop. It has a ton of new items introduced within the New Frontiers expansion. One thing I would like to point you towards though is the gadget menu. It has one item on here that will benefit you a lot and it doesn't cost you any red exotics at all. It is this module here called Beast. The Bioentity Analyst and Scanning Technology, a handheld device that scans nearby creatures for analysis and locates their weaknesses. It will cost you 500 rent to research and 250 exotics to research and 250 ren to craft. With there being over 30 new workshop items introduced in New Frontiers, every new item will have this little icon in the upper left hand corner, and this will indicate that it is from New Frontiers. Also, when you hover over something, and if it's got the new red exotics in there, that will also indicate that it is also from New Frontiers as well. So let's take a look at the missions and open world. So what you need to do is click New. Let's take a look at the missions first. So let's go ahead and click Missions. And now you want to go to Prometheus if you own New Frontiers. And this will indicate this is significantly harder. This is 4 skulls here, where Styx was only 3 and Olympus was only 2. Also on Prometheus, ores are distributed across the biomes differently. For example, you might get titanium a lot easier in the Arctic biome as you would to the grasslands. And you might only get obsidian in the lava biome where you can't get that in another biome. All that means is you're probably going to have to explore a little bit more than you would have to do on Styx in Olympus. So you want to go ahead and click on Prometheus and it will give you a warning here. Prometheus is a very harsh and unforgiving environment with weather extremes, difficult creatures and harder missions. Let's go ahead and confirm that. These 6 missions here in this long line, these are the narrative storyline missions. If you want to learn a bit of the ICARUS lore, I'd recommend you doing these 6 missions first before progressing onto the other missions. If lore isn't your thing, you can easily just do some of the branches and work your way through the missions. You'll notice the last 3 of the story-driven missions, they have a blue box around them. All that means is it requires a special item for you to craft and build. That item is called the Encrypted Satellite Communicator, which you will need for these 3 missions. Launching open world mode is exactly the same for Prometheus as it was previously for Olympus and Styx. So all you gotta do is click on open world and you'll be shown the 3 open world modes you want to play on. Yeah, you want to click Prometheus. Again, it will give you the warning, Prometheus is a very harsh and unforgiving environment with weather extremes, difficult creatures and harder missions. You can actually opt to turn this off so you never see this again. Setting up open world mode is exactly the same way as Olympus and Styx. You have your easy, normal and hard mode. Here, you will set up your character. So let's go ahead and just confirm the loadout. These are the 7 drop points for Prometheus. So first of all, the 2 green drop locations are in the grasslands. Even the game recommends you to drop here. These 2 green drop points here are the areas where I recommend you to drop in also. Simply because with you being new to New Frontiers, you will not be ready for the basalt expanse, the marshlands, the wetlands, and the 2 Arctic biomes. Because it is extremely hostile and some of the animals do a lot of damage. Especially if you're at a lower level, as there's some very unique animals in these biomes now. Starting in the grasslands, will give you the best opportunity and best start you can possibly have. You can easily venture to the other biomes, they're not difficult to get to. Once you're happy with your selection and your loadout, you can click drop here and it will drop you into your preferred drop location. The grasslands has an abundance of trees, fiber, caves and wildlife. You'll see a lot of familiar wildlife, but you're also going to see a lot of new wildlife. One of the main standout features for the New Frontiers expansion is the ability to do missions from open world mode. Once you build the short range radio, you'll be able to do the first 2 new missions for New Frontiers on the short range radio. They will appear as an overlay on top of your dynamic missions as a blue box. Upon completing the first 2 missions, you will want to craft the infrasonic relay device. This is a tier 3 craftable item and it's only placeable outdoors. It doesn't require any power. All you have to do is press F on it once you've built it, and this will bring up all of your missions for Prometheus. Like I've just touched on, the short range radio, you can complete the first 2 missions via that, so that would be this mission and this mission. If you're on open world mode, you can just come to the infrasonic relay device and launch the next mission by selecting the one you want to do next, which is unlocked. Then the mission will simply just start. Of course, you can still use your short range radio to do your dynamic missions as well. In the past, if you wanted to change your equipment for whatever reason from your workshop, you would have to get back in your dropship, go back to the station and get it. Now you can call it down to you. So what you want to do is you're going to come to your orbital exchange interface. You have 2 options. You can either request a drop pod for exotics, so you can send your exotics back up to the station, but now you can request equipment. So let's go ahead and click request equipment. So this has brought up all of my workshop gear that I've got back up in the station. So let's say, for example, I want to bring down a repair kit. Now let's go ahead and request the repair kit to be brought down. There we go. And here it comes. As simple as that. The pod is identical to the exotics one, and it will be located on your compass as well as a little icon. You can also view it on your map as well. Let's go ahead and get my repair kits. There they are. It's time to take a look at the caves in Prometheus. Depending on what biome you're in, I'm in the grasslands biome here. The caves will look slightly different to, let's say, the wetlands or the lava biome because of their colours and themes. Let's go ahead and put a torch on. I've already opened this up. Let's go inside. As you can see, the caves already look different. So let's go inside. We still have our little friends, the cave worms, to greet us. And this is the lava biome cave. As you can see, there's heat shimmering in the foreground and the visibility is much higher. Of course, there are other caves in the Arctic regions and in the swamp regions, but I don't want to spoil all the fun for you. The wildlife on Prometheus varies vastly between each biome. You'll find in the lava biome, the aggressive animals are a lot tougher than the grasslands and the swamplands. As an example, this is the arid striker. It's highly aggressive in the lava biome and it's extremely tough to take down. Once you have taken one of these new animals down, either in the swamp biome or the lava biome, they will drop unique items which you can turn into resources like sulfur, silica, and other building materials like scoria, and giant mammoths that roam through the swamp, and huge like alien creatures. Don't worry though, not every animal in Prometheus is trying to face hug you. You've got cute little animals like this as well, and this furry little fellow. You will get different variations of animals in the Arctic, like this blueback for example. There is a red version of this inside the lava biome. You'll find in the Arctic biomes on Prometheus, they're not as harsh as Styx and Olympus. I am currently wearing cloth armor and I'm not even cold. With this being a tundra, it definitely does make life easier moving through the area. But don't worry, there are still hostiles like snow leopards, snow wolves, and a whole bunch of other creatures. Unfortunately, there's one very cool animal that I wanted to show you, but it was hiding every time I was recording. That is the woolly zebra. This is the swamp biome. The atmosphere drastically changes once you enter this biome. You'll see a huge variation of animals, hostile and non-hostile, within the swamp biome, along with very nice points of interest, such as these giant logs that are just lying on the floor. They're just literally giant hollow logs. I'd love to build something around this one day. Also, one of the new building materials in New Frontiers is located in the swamp. The clay. Now you have to break clay up with a sledgehammer and you'll see pieces fall off like so. You can also locate the other building material, scoria, within the lava biome. The swamp has many dangers, but not all them dangers come from animals. The swamp water within the swamp biome on Prometheus does slow you down significantly and it gives you a debuff. So you want to make sure you're not being chased by any aggressive animals while you're in this water. And for the chefs out there, there are two new harvestable foods in the game. That would be the tomatoes and the potatoes. So you'll have plenty of new foods to craft on day one, such as fried tomato. If you prefer your salads, you can make yourself a hearty salad at the cooking station. These are just some of the new building pieces being introduced into the New Frontiers expansion. The clay brick to the right and the scoria to the left. Let's take a look at the brick first. So this is the brick. To be honest, this is probably going to be my new favorite building material, but I will have a future video out covering which is now the new best building materials. But now you can really get that little homely feel by building in brick. I think it looks really cool, especially with that little chimney on the top. Now this building material is scoria. You heard me touch on it earlier on in the video. This is gatherable from the volcanic biome. There is two variations though of scoria. You can have scoria, which is this, and you can have scoria brick. So let's take a little look at the scoria. It looks very similar to stone. It doesn't look very good with the chimney compared to the brick. Let's take a little look inside. Scoria is a really dark resource, so it does make everything look darker. Compared to the brick, I think the brick just looks really nice, especially with all the shadows. I hope you found this introduction to New Frontiers helpful and you learned something. This was a very brief introduction, as there's so much that I couldn't cover in this video, or this video would have literally been about 3 to 4 hours long. There's that much content. Of course, I will be bringing guides, tutorials and live streams covering every aspect of New Frontiers. If you found this helpful, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. They are both free and they greatly help the growth of the channel. I hope you have a great time at launch, hope you have fun in game, and thank you very much for watching.